pieces in my life go away with you. Forever in my mind, only you. The pieces in my life run away with you. You're my first love. You're my first love. You're my first love. You're my first love.
Hello everyone and welcome once again to the Formula SimRacing World Trophy. We are, as we were yesterday, live at the Korea International Circuit in Yeongnam, South Korea. And we're about to get into qualifying. You've joined us at literally just the right time. We're about to move through into qualifying. They're all boxing up at the end of the pit lane, and I think it's Holmes who's gotten out first in reality, and there's a lot of contact between the load of them. This is only qualifying, people. Stop bumping into each other. So what they're going to do is they're going to go around. This is the first part of qualifying, so this isn't for pole, this is for the top 10. And then the top 10 will move over into Q2, and then they'll have their little shootout. But it's the top 10 who matter here, not who's on pole. And the first person who looks like he's going to start setting his time is going to be Jonathan Holmes, but there's a long way to go in this lap because it's a long one. We had an interesting race yesterday. Could have been a bit more interesting if Rob van Starkenburg hadn't decided to park it into a wall. But you know, hopefully we're going to have a nice race. We've got an interesting championship that we're going through at the moment. With you've got Mark. It's Mark Alberts who's leading. Ben Tusting in P2. Ben Tustin, though, hasn't had a win this season, so he's looking to rectify that today if he actually has the pace. I do believe I saw him in the server, because I do know that he's not always here. Yes, he is indeed. He's just trying to get past Ron Squire, who's making his Grid 1 debut in the Formula SimRacing World Trophy. And also, I didn't introduce myself. You're going to have to put up with my boring voice for the next hour and a half. And I'm Lewis McGlade, as it was yesterday for 2 hours. So if you like my voice, you're a crazy person. Anyway, moving on, because I think Holmes is coming around. Yep, he is. He's coming around turn 17 and then through turn 18 to start a lap. This is quite a tricky track, is this one, especially in these cars. I mean, I drove them a few days ago around this track. I did about 2 laps and then decided I'm not taking part in World Trophy or World Series or the World Championship, because these cars are tough. They're not really too grippy. They are once you've figured out the setup, but me and setup not particularly too good. Holmes a bit weaving around the track, probably getting a bit of temp into his tyres around the down the straights, because they do lose it. Heads around turn 3. That's going to be quite a primary overtaking opportunity in the race. A lot of drivers chucking it down the inside there, or maybe patiently waiting until this turn here, turn 4. So whether you find a late apex or an early apex depends on what kind of line you're trying to do, whether you're defensive or aggressive. And that will change radically throughout the race. Holmes gets a little bit of his rear left, clipping the curb, spins it out, and catches it, but has lost a good 10th from that. So this isn't going to be his best time. They're allowed to do as many laps as they want in qualifying 1. which is a 10-minute session. As I said, as many laps as you want. Next time, they only get one lap. A single lap to get every apex right, and when it doesn't go quite right, we see, people not taking pole. Seen it plenty of times before. And Holmes once again going wide. He's really trying to push this, and it always amazes me how close they get to these walls around here. Although I was talking to a driver last night, and I've been talking to a couple prior to this, and a lot of them don't realise how close they get to the wall. Like, if you watch them when they're watching a replay back, it's just like, whoa, I did get very close to that wall. They're not totally aware of it, which is a bit uncomforting. But anyway, Jonathan Holmes has been dropping down the order now. He did a 139.408, and the current man on the top of the session is Franz Schneider, who took the win last time out and is looking to put himself back into championship contention. I think he's about 30 points off of the lead. I'll triple check this when we go into the warm-up session. But he's looking to move himself back up into the championship standings. And when you get 50 points for a win, it's not particularly too difficult to do. But he did a 138.599. Alvaro Torres, who's in front of him, he's done a 138.617, so is literally two hundredths of a second behind. Ben Tusting, about a tenth behind that in third position, but remember, it's the top 10 we're worried about here. The top 10 are the ones that's going to go through into Q2, and that's the ones that's going to matter. We've had 17 people set a time at the moment, with I'm sure everyone will be setting times, other than, I think, Valeriano isn't allowed to set a time. He's currently 9th in the championship. Yep, that's correct. He's not allowed to set a time for reasons I can't remember. I think it's penalties from last time out. I haven't checked the penalty list because, I'm not organised. Right, so is Franz Schneider on a lap? I do not believe so. I'm going to pull up my lap time in just a second. Right, that's that done. Anyone else improving? You've got a couple of people who have improved on their previous lap, which is Muru, and then De Piccolo, or Del Piccolo. I don't recognise that name. I'm assuming you're new. Or maybe you were here last time out, because I wasn't here last time out. I don't know. But we don't have a particularly massive, mahoosive grid. Also, Franz Schneider is being held up a little bit by Alvaro Torres. He's about to start his lap, which is not going to go down very well. Unless he's going to try and make a move on him into turn 3, which, to be honest, is just going to ruin both laps. I discussed this a little bit yesterday, is that the way the circuit works is you don't want to be close to anyone in the first sector, because unless you're getting past them, then you're going to be close to them through Sector 2 and Sector 3, where you're going to need all of the downforce you can get. Franz Schneider, though, is actually trying to make an overtaking move in qualifying. But Alvaro Torres clearly has got a slightly higher top speed, probably running a bit lower downforce, which is just going to absolutely affect Franz Schneider in a completely negative way through the sector he's about to head into, where you've got the left of 4, the right of 5, the left of 6, and then you've got some higher speed corners, and he's not going to get the downforce that he really needs. So this isn't going to work out for Franz Schneider, I don't think, unless Alvaro Torres is going very, 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 very quickly. Oh, I've just seen that Daniel Kiss, he has actually won a race this year. I think has Kiss, he won in Germany. I'll triple check this and know, because we don't have the stuff up on the other screen. But Kiss moves up into 6th position. Did a 138.894, gets displaced by Jonathan Holmes, who's done a 138.862. But Kiss, I mean, considering he took pole the first time out, but all the way back in Australia, I think it's taken him a bit of time to boil down to this championship and actually get comfortable within the car. He's quick, but not comfortable. That's just something that he kind of looks like sometimes. Well, he currently sits 5th in the championship, and that's on 207 points. As I said, I'll get to that in a mo. Once we've gotten into the race, or not into the race, once we've gotten into the next bit, warm-up. That was it. I was trying to think of it, alright. Your top 10 currently, as it stands, you got Franz Schneider, obviously leading the way, who didn't improve in that lap. What a surprise. And then you got Alvaro Torres, Ben Tusting, Norbert Leitner, Klopp, Siggy, Holmes, Kiss. Oh, Kiss has just been displaced by Jörg Bischoff. So Kiss is now in 9th. And on the bubble in 10th position is Guerrero for Positive Sim Racing. They've been doing quite well considering they've got both their drivers in the top 10 at the moment, and he's actually coming up behind his teammate is Fernando Guerrero. Although I say he's on the bubble, he's actually kind of safe, really. He's got 4 tenths to the driver behind the 11th position, but I will also point out that the driver in 11th position is one Mark Alberts, the championship leader, and he's coming to the line. I don't know if he's actually on a lap. He's gone a bit wide at 7. He does improve, but not enough. So he's going to have to go round again. And actually, he can't. I've just checked the times. He cannot go round again. There's not enough time to get round. So, Mark Alberts not going through into Q1. And considering he's the championship leader, that's something that should be generally expected, if I'm honest. Nevertheless, that's not the case that we have. We're just going to see if Campus can improve as well. You've got a few drivers in the bottom load who might improve and jump themselves up. I've seen that I think it's Edouard Corre is improving slightly through the first sector. Whether it's going to be enough, I mean, he's down in 19th position and 2.7 off. So whether he can actually improve to get himself up into the top 10 is going to be a work of miracles in reality. Doesn't I'm just going to say it now. I don't think the top 10 is going to change too much. Frank Schneider getting out into a wall. Not that it particularly matters. He did actually. Oh no, he didn't improve. Wow. Okay, that's what's happened. Right. Okay, Frank Schneider's actually going out for another lap. I don't think he's quite realised how much time we have left in the session. But Ben Tusting improved and went 3 tenths faster than Frank Schneider, so showing some pretty good pace at the moment. Is Ben Tusting? I think he's actually currently on a lap as well. So it doesn't show it on live timing. Also, he's gone wide anyway. I don't think it really matters anymore. Nope, he's just escaped back to the garage. So, as we are at the moment, I don't think anyone's going to be improving. So I will go through I'll go through the top 10. Why not? And then this is the drivers that's moving through into Q2. Oh, Campus is on a fast lap. Right. Hold back. Or actually, has he just done that? Because he's through. He's in sector 1 now. Siggy's on a fast lap. Not that really matters because he's in the top 10 anyway. But I've just seen a bit more moving around up in the top. I don't think no one's moved up into the top 10. No one new's moved up into the top 10. I'm just keeping on board with Campus at the moment, seeing if he actually does improve at all. Let's have a look. Is he actually? Where is he? The first sector, not great. It's 50.5. Well, nearly 50.6, which in the consideration, Mark Alberts did a 50.1 and didn't improve. Kevin Siggy does actually improve and moves himself up into P4. Not that, as I said, not that it really matters. Top 10, that's where it's all at the moment, is who's in the top 10. Campus, though, heading through the final couple of corners, and then round 17. And then round 18. And across the line, is he going to improve and go up into the top 10? I don't think he will, but he doesn't. He doesn't indeed. Oh! Jörg Bischoff improves up into 2nd position on his last fly. I don't think that was moving anyone around the top 10. But, so there it is. I think that's everyone sorted. And your top 10 is Tusting, Bischoff, Schneider, Torres, Siggy, Leitner, Klopp, Holmes, good job, Kiss, and Guerrero. That's your top 10. Everyone outside it, this is when we're going to get into the names that I can't pronounce, so GG. You've got Mark Alberts, our championship leader, struggling there, down in 11th position, a second slower than our fastest man, Ben Tusting. Carlos Martin, down in 12th position, alongside Campus, then Sadler, Falcon Went, Gallia, Muru. First name I can't pronounce, and I'm going to absolutely muller this, so I do apologise. I've done this for like the last 9 rounds now, so I'm really sorry. It's Radivojevic. I can't pronounce it. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. If you can, if I will learn one day. Edouard Court is in 20th, alongside the name that I didn't really recognise, and I still don't. Maybe he's been here before and I've just not noticed. And that's Del Piccolo, who's driving for a team called Targa Florio Team. Don't recognise that team, so excellent. It's always nice to see our new teams. And then for Mac Corp Racing, our Grid 1 debutant is Ron Squire in 22nd. There is a few other drivers, like Gabriel, who was told not to go out as well, alongside Valeriano, but he's in 23rd. Valeriano then will be at the back of the grid. And I've just seen that we've got Rando Tam in the server, and he'll be right at the back of the grid, from what I've seen. But we've moved on into Q1, where everyone gets a single lap to get everything right. And currently, at the front of the queue, it's Schneider jumping it. Great job. I think it was actually Schneider who jumped me in a queue once, in a race once. Okay. I've been assisted with pronouncing that name I can't pronounce, which I will practice in a mo. Once we've gone to an advert break, I will practice, because as a commentator, I can't pronounce anyone's name. Right, so Schneider on his outlap is absolutely chucking it in, trying to get these tyres up to temperature, which he's going to want them at just the at the right spot. It's gonna. Getting the tyres at the right spot is really, really difficult. I've done some sim racing when a track's been very, very hot, and I'm not sure how hot it is today. I don't think it's 27.2 degrees is track temperature. Now, the hottest I've raced on was 45, and that was painful, because you've got to time everything so painfully right, and even when it's at 27 degrees, you've got to make sure that your tyres are at the right temperature when approaching the corner, and that sounds difficult. It's actually surprisingly not as difficult as it sounds once you're in the car. But heading down into turn 1, Ben Tustin comes out of the pits at just the right time to get in the way of Schneider a little bit, hopefully not to put one off. Schneider gets round him and heads down towards one turn 3. And we'll have to wait and see if this is actually going to look like a good time. I don't have any live... When I mean live timing, I'm talking about the live timing that you can use, which is actually... It's about... I think it's about 15 seconds behind. It's actually just about 20 seconds behind, I think. It's about 15-20 seconds behind what we're actually seeing. Which is why sometimes, like, once they've passed the first sector split, you'll see me go, I'm waiting for the time, and then 20 seconds later I'll be like, oh, he's done this in the first sector, but he's finished the lap. That's why I'm letting you know. This is the behind the scenes of how it all works. Frank Schneider has passed the first sector. Don't know how good it was, so we'll find out in a moment when it appears. He did a 50.551, which is actually beaten by Norbert Leitner, who did a 50.4. So that's what happened between those two. And Schneider is using just about everything on the track that he can. Oh, he's gone a little bit wide at 14, and then to 15 and 16. But this car seems a bit understeery, then oversteery at times. If he could drive with that, that's great. But to cross the line for the first time in Q1 is a 139 flat, a 139.017, so kind of nearly flat. Norbert Leitner didn't improve on that time. He did a 139.193, so he goes second. Frank Schneider in P1. Ben Tusting's about to wind himself up for his first lap. Who's going to cross the line? I think Yorick Bashov is about to cross the line to finish his time and go first, I'm going to assume. Yes. A 138.918. He does indeed improve on that time. Who's up next? It looks like Kevin Siggy's going around turn 17. Oh, he's gone a little bit wide at 17, but as sorted out, looked like it went a little bit wide. It might not have been. He's going to go P4, a 140.085, so he's lost quite a bit of time on that lap. Who's approaching the end of theirs? Alvaro Torres looks like he's kind of near the end of it. Possibly actually the closest to the end of it. Actually, Guerrero's looking pretty damn close. Oh, Guerrero's not actually on lap. Doesn't help. So it's to his teammate Alvaro Torres heading around 16. Not really pushing, from what I heard. I don't think this is going to be a particularly great time. Maybe it was just maybe it was lag or him getting on traction or things like that, and it's going to go P. God damn it, he wasn't on a lap. That's why it wasn't so good. That was really sorry. I should have looked at the lap count. It's fine. It's fine. God. I'm terrible. Renz Klopp started his lap, Ben Tusting started his lap, and Tusting's going to be the lap that I'm going to be looking at. I think actually Tusting may be the next one to cross the... Oh, no, there we go. There was someone. It was Jonathan Holmes, of course. Why did I miss that? Jonathan Holmes goes P2 with a 138.993. Ben Tusting in the final few corners has gone a little bit wide at 15, through 16, then 17. I don't know if this is going to improve to move them up into the P1 position, but only one person will know, and that's Ben Tusting. This is about to cross the line. It's going to go P4. Right, so 139.101. Interesting. Who's next? We've got Renz Klopp is heading into turn 10. Daniel Kiss is heading... Yeah, Daniel Kiss is the next one, I think. Yep, Daniel Kiss would be the next one. He's heading through turn 17. Pole sitter from Australia. I think he had another pole, but I can't remember. It was probably on a race that I missed. He goes P4, which moves Tusting down the order. He did a 139.044. And looks like Klopp could be the next one. Actually, Guerrero's dropped his lap. Okay, so Guerrero's not going to get his lap in. Klopp heading through 17. I really don't like the camera on that car. It's pointing down a lot. The TV pod camera, so you can't really see exactly where he is on track. He goes P6. And Alvaro Torres is going to go P1. Wow, good call. Good call, Jaakko. That is excellent. I was just told Alvaro Torres is going for pole. Bang, got it. So that's an interesting pole sitter there from Alvaro Torres, who just beat Jurek Brashov by 0.03 of a second. So excellent stuff there from Alvaro Torres for positive sim racing. I think that might be their first pole, actually. So I don't remember them being on pole before. But excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. I think it's a new pole sitter. Excellent. I'm happy. It's a shame about his teammate though, who couldn't get his lap in. But so there we go. Our pole man, Alvaro Torres, in front of Jurek Brashov. Then Jonathan Holmes lines up in third, in front of Franz Schneider. So that's good. I don't know where's Jurek on the. That's where Jurek is. Jurek's 12th in the championship. I was just trying to look. And these times are pretty damn close. Wow. Yeah. Okay. I've just looked at how close times were. I'll get that out in a minute. Franz Schneider, though, was 4th in front of Daniel Kiss. In 5th, Ben Tusting, who topped the Q1 time, is in 6th position. Renz Klopp in 7th. Norbert Leitner in 8th. Kevin Siggy in 9th. And Guerrero in 10th. Obviously, Guerrero didn't set his time in Q2, but the top 8 drivers were within 0.3 of a second. So, that's a couple of apexes, maybe a better drive off of one corner, and that's where you find that kind of time. So, good stuff from the World Trophy drivers, and I'm just about to head into the warm-up session where I'm going to go and practice my pronunciation of some drivers' names, and we shall hand you over to our title sponsors of Thrustmasters. So enjoy their break whilst I'm also going to go practice and make myself tea. So good day, and here's our title sponsors. Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Formula Sim Racing World Trophy. Also, as was posted in the questions, if you have any questions, we've got like 6.5 minutes left of this warm-up session, but if you have any questions, post it in the chat, and I'll get around to reading it at some point, like now, maybe. So, yes, if you have any questions, any at all, about whether it's entering World Trophy, entering any FSR event, whether it's what's going to happen with FSR next year, even though I don't have a clue. But if there's any question, drivers, anything, ask away and I shall answer. And stop asking where's Bono Huis. God damn it. Bono Huis will be on a bit later on in the evening. I think it's 5:15 British Summer Time, which is 4:15 GMT to anyone who doesn't know. And that will be when Bono Huis wins again. Also, I did a quick maths yesterday because I said I would. I don't think Bono can win it today, but he can win it in Singapore if he does well today. I think that's what I worked out, because there's been another round added on and things and stuff. Because there's 4 rounds to go, so he can't win it. He needs, if he wants to win it today, he'd need a 75-point gap in the championship, and I don't think he can do it. Because I think he's got about a 40-odd point gap. So there you go. That's the nerdy stuff about Bono. Anyway, I said I was going to flick through the championships as well. I was just pulling it up. And the championships, as it stands, we've got Mark Alberts, who currently leads on 267 points. In front of Ben Tusting on 258, so 9 points between the two of those. Also, I think I'm just going to scroll down a little minute, and Alberts has won one. He's won 1 race this year as Alberts, whereas Tusting hasn't. And to say that those two then are in the lead of the championship, that's quite impressive. Kiss has won twice, actually. Kiss won in Italy as well. Of course he did. Oh yeah, because the leaders took themselves out. Fran Schneider in 3rd position, 222 points, looking to close that gap today if he can. Ben Tusting, though, looking to take a win, hopefully, if he can, but they've got to get past Alvaro Torres to make that happen. Renz Klopp in 4th position, Daniel Kiss in 5th, Carlos Martin in 6th, Jonathan Holmes in 7th. This is championship, just in case anyone just joined. Anyway, Alvaro Torres in 8th. Giordano Valeriano is in 9th position, and Campos is in 10th, 139 points. So it's actually between some of these drivers, especially like Holmes and Torres. They're within 1 point of each other. You've got Carlos Martin, Daniel Kiss, and Renz Klopp. They're within 4 points of each other. We got quite a close championship. Also, I said Alvaro Torres maybe first pole. I totally forgot about the two wins that he had. He had 2 wins. He won in Hungary and he won in Valencia, in Spain, and that's what I completely forgot about, because I don't think I was there for either of those races, and that's why I totally forgot about that. Because I remember being briefed on the way back that this is what's happened. I was like, oh, okay then, right. Didn't realise that. Also, I just wanted to say to Ron in the chat, says, don't retire. No, don't retire. It would be nice to actually see you finish in your first race in Grid 1. Okay. Who will be... Okay, that's a good question. I'm going to actually pull that over to my main screen because I can't read it whilst looking over there. So, it says, who will be the likely challenger to Bono after the retirement of Morand? I don't know. I don't think there will be, if I'm honest. I really don't. I think Bono is very, very quick, and I think he'll keep going. And whether it's going to be from his teammate or... I don't know. I don't think there is going to be one. Because I don't think anyone can really match Bono. Morgan Morand, I've always said that Morgan Morand, I think, is faster than Bono. But Morgan Morand can do a fast lap once or twice, or maybe even more than that. Maybe say like 10 times. However, Bono can repeat that fast lap 55 times in a row, and that's where the differences between. That's what I said last time out in Japan, and that's kind of where it kind of goes. Also, I was asked, will there be more action today than yesterday? It's World Trophy, so probably, hopefully, one would really, really hope that we have more action. With the grid, this grid, we sometimes do. We're just moving through to do the warm-up lap, but with this grid, you never really know what's going to happen, which is just wonderful. And so, yeah, we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen. I reckon there will be a bit more action than yesterday. But there's only one way to find out. And we've got 15 seconds for everyone to rush to the grid and get themselves in position to start the formation lap for the South Korea World Trophy. Yep. Right, so everyone's on the grid at the moment. Alvaro Torres is going to lead them round for the first World Trophy race. Well, I was getting at something then. I can't remember. You know when you start saying something and then you kind of go off on a tangent and then you totally forget what you were originally trying to say? It's exactly what I just did then. I do feel stupid for it. But as the glare is starting to come across my screen, so it's going to get very hard to read these names in a minute. Alvaro Torres is leading the way from P1, his pole position, and followed by Yorick Bashov in second, who... I mean, I've seen Yorick, he's had some good base at times and then not at others, so, you know, hopefully he's got some good stuff here, but we'll have to see how that's going to play out. Jonathan Holmes in P3, good stuff from him for Roboto Racing, and then Franz Schneider in 4th position. Daniel Kiss is in 5th alongside Ben Tusting, who's obviously going for that championship lead if he can. Renz Klopp is in 7th position, Norbert Leitner in 8th, Kevin Siggy in 9th, and Fernando Guerrero in 10th. Fernando obviously not setting his time in Q2, and Siggy not setting a particularly good one. It's good to see Siggy up there though, and it's also nice to see that there's 3 positive sim racing cars in the top 10. Technically, when you've got the junior racing team, the junior green racing team of Kevin Siggy, so good stuff from them. Mark Alberts, championship leader, starts in 11th position with Carlos Martin in 12th, Campos in 13th, Sadler in 14th, Falcon. Don't recognise that name. I called it out many times before, but I don't recognise the name. And Siggy. Oh, Martin stopped. Carlos Martin's just randomly stopped on track for me, and I'm not sure why. Now he's got on going again. Right. He stopped at a really awkward point as well. But anyway, Falcon in 15th. Jackson went in 16th, and Gallia is in 17th. Muru in 18th, let me pull up the pronunciation, Radi Volgiovic. Hopefully that sounded a lot better. It sounded a lot better than me going blah, 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 blah. Yes, so Milan, let's go with that, it's a lot easier to pronounce, is in 19th position. Edouard Corre is 20th. Gabriel de Piccolo is in 21st without a rear wing, right? Not pointing the finger at anyone. But Ron Squire lines up in 22nd. Rando Tam is in 23rd. Valeriano is in 24th position. And Gabriel is in 25th. And they're all lining up on the grid. And I think that's Ron Squire who's in the middle of the track at the moment, who's just trying to line up in his grid box. And, well, De Piccolo is going to be making them all wait for a considerably long period of time. Yeah. Now what? He's heading through 10-16 now. What's he going to do? Is he just heading into the pit lane? One would assume. Just trying to get it back. If he goes and lines up on the grid, I'll just laugh my head off. No, he is heading into the grid. So he's got to wait now until he enters his pit box, and then the lights will start, the race will go, and Alvaro Torres will lead them down into turn 1 as we're just about to hopefully get underway. Yep, here come the lights. That's 2 of the lights, and we're away in Korea, and we've got a few people getting a good start. Yorick Bashov, not one of them. Alvaro Torres, though, got a great start, and I've just seen someone DNF, but I think that was De Piccolo. But Franz Schneider straight down the inside of Holmes. Excellent stuff from Schneider to move himself up into 2nd position. Holmes in 3rd, Klopp in 4th. Oh, I've just seen someone flying across the track, and that was, I think it was Siggy. because it was a green car. And Torres then leading them down into turn 3. We've got them all moving about under braking, which is never a comfortable part when you're driving it. Yurick Bashov has dropped down into 6th position and is about to come under attack from... got lots of cars going off in the background, and that's probably just my game freaking out. But Ben Tusting on the inside of Yurick Bashov for turn 4 and gets that move all sorted and done and moves himself up into 6th position. And also Yurick Bashov is coming under attack by Sadler as well. It's going to be the inside of 6, which he is. So that is the order. Your current top 10. Alvaro Torres leads Franz Schneider by half a second. Jonathan Holmes behind in 3rd position. Renz Klopp in 4th. Leitner in 5th. Ben Tusting 6th. Sadler 7th. Yurick Bashov 8th. Guerrero in 9th position. And Daniel Kiss all the way down in 10th position. So he's not had a particularly good start either. That long race, 42 laps to go. And have we had any DNFs? We do have a DNF. It was Carlos Martin who DNF'd. Oh, right. That's a real shame there for Carlos. As we haven't even been in the race for very long, if I'm honest. But Alvaro Torres keeping one Franz Schneider close behind. Literally, it is just half a second now, and this is when we'll see these setup differences appear is when they head down this straight. We saw it quite a bit yesterday in the World Series. We'll probably see it again today, whether someone's gone for low downforce. I've also just seen in the background it's Norbert Leitner who's gone on the inside of Renz Klopp for turn 1. That's not a particularly good overtaking position, because that means that you're going to be under attack all the way down into turn 3. As you got, I think that was Yurick Bashov who's going. He's going on the defensive now from Guerrero, so he's definitely not had a good start. As there's Renz Klopp having a look on the inside of Leitner, who's not going to have it done. Jonathan Holmes is now going to come under fire by Leitner and Klopp and Ben Tusting and bat off the bloody grid at this stage. There's Leitner again on the inside of Holmes for turn 4. Is he going to have it done? It looks like he is. Yep, he is ahead. So Jonathan Holmes falling back down the order just now. Cuts across the front of Renz Klopp, which is allowed to do. Ben Tusting is now going to have a look for 6 and probably up into 7. Not a particularly great place to go overtaking is through 7. Also, I did find out that the corner that I thought was turn 10 was actually turn 10, even though I thought it was turn 9 and then turn 10 and then turn 9, which is the one that Holmes is about to come up to now. This is a potential overtaking opportunity, if you wanted to know. 6/10 gap between the lead of Torres and Schneider, and I can't see anyone's name now thanks to the wonderful screen glare that I'm getting, so I'm going to sort that out in just a moment. But yes, that is your lead at the moment. You've also got Leitner, who's 1.5 behind, who's been released, and as they cross the second sector split, which was actually ages ago, so ignore me. But it does look like Leitner's got some good pace at the moment. He has around turn 17. Let's see what the gap is as they cross the line. Looks like Franz Schneider's closer than ever as well. So Franz Schneider is 0.3 behind. Leitner did close up. He's now 1.2. So Leitner's got some good pace at the moment. And Franz Schneider is going to attack Torres, probably going down into turn 3. So keep an eye on that as I'm about to sort out my window. I can actually see something now. And yep, here comes Franz Schneider. Oh, he's going to look for the inside, I reckon, under braking. He's wobbling about quite a lot back there, is Franz Schneider, which you're allowed to do, but it's not particularly good because that's allowed to look at Leitner. Look at how much he's closed in down into turn 3, all late on the brakes. Looks like he went a little bit too deep, but nevertheless, has closed up dramatically on the back of the leading pair, so he could be looking pretty good there for his Crown 7 Netrex team. That was Holmes going a little bit wide in the background, but look at Leitner now on the back of Franz Schneider. He's definitely the fastest car on the track at the moment. Possibly. Definitely. You shouldn't use words like definitely because it's never 100% true. But 0.6 the gap between Leitner and the lead of Alvaro Torres, so I'm going to assume that Norbert's going to be having a look on the inside of Franz at any time now. Down to turn 10, no one looking for a move. As we're going to weave our way through the higher speed turn, turn 12. 11 even, it's double apex left-hander. Seriously, it's the one after 10. Jesus, Lewis. Jesus. And 15's the double. What was I trying to get out there? Good lord. But there's Franz Schneider. He is definitely going to come under attack by Leitner at any time soon. And look at Holmes. Holmes isn't too far behind this load as well. Whoa! Oh, we're getting disconnections throughout the grid. We've got Kiss disconnected. Oh, wow, that's a long list of disconnections. Rightio. Disconnections at the moment is Daniel Kiss, Campus Falcon, Went Valeriano, and Core Alberts. So Alberts is out as well. Okay. And Tam, who actually had an accident. So, yeah. Oh, I've lost connection as well. Apparently. Great way to start an evening. Great way to start an afternoon. Right. Now I have absolutely no idea what's going on. And also it appears that you're out as well. Maybe that's just a wide server failure. So we're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen here. Wow. This hasn't ever happened to me before. So this is the joys of SimRacing, ladies and gentlemen. The joys of SimRacing, where nothing's ever certain. Oh yeah, I'm just seeing it on the broadcast where we're losing connection. Yeah, I'm not really sure what we're gonna do now. Wow. Cheers to all the 36 of you that's watching though. But we're just gonna try and sort this out, and hopefully think of a backup plan. It's not like I can chuck you into adverts or anything. Also, we're apparently restarting the restarting the server, ladies and gentlemen, which is interesting. No, Mike, Ron should not be given the victory. Just saying it now. Right. Okay. This is interesting. Right. This doesn't happen. This doesn't happen. All right, we're also getting it now that the server is back up. Yep, I'm just rejoining the server so I can continue my commentary ways. But I think we'll have to restart from the beginning, which is just terrible. Because it was looking good. It was looking so good, and now we all know who's going to be looking fast on the earlier bit and who's not going to be. So, this is kind of like a red flag, but not a red flag. I mean, you all love our red flag scenarios. And yeah, I'm back in the server. We're in a warm up session prior to the race. Well, that's a really odd thing that I've not seen. That's a very good point. If I'd have stayed in the server, I could have won. Probably not going to happen. Right, so we're probably going to be jumping into the race once everyone's back into the server, and we do have quite problematic. Ron Squire, Ron was still in the server. He went from 22nd to 7th. Good old Ron. It must have been quite a shame for some drivers, opposite for others. And also, for some that it may be good for, like Yorick Bashov, who went from 2nd on the grid all the way down into 8th. So, it didn't work out well for some. It did for others. But, nevertheless, we have had a restart. So, this is where we have to we have to go from. And we just have to patiently wait and see where everyone's going to go. But who was leading at that time? It was Alvaro Torres, who was going to come under attack from one French. French driver had an excellent start. To see if we can repeat that as we are. Are we moving through? Nope. It was just Andrew Tam joining the server. The race will be restarted for full race distance. Also, the FSR World Trophy Director has left, which is brilliant. But yes, we are going to be restarting for full race distance. So it's like we've just wasted the last 5-10 minutes. But that is the way it goes. Sometimes is the thing that we do with sim racing. Is that we have these technical issues that sometimes aren't sorted so easily. So we're just going to restart the race. And then if it happens again, well, I'll just go sit in the corner and cry. Or go make myself a tea, because that'll make me happy. Oh, and yes, that is something that's been very important that's been brought up to me, is that Mark Alberts was taken out of the race by Siggy, apparently. I didn't actually see that, but that's big for him, especially considering he's in the lead of the championship and he was going to lose it. So this server restart is working out brilliantly for him. Oh, we've got some people being removed from the game, which is, right. Apparently I've left the game, but I'm still in the game. Never seen that before, because it says Lewis McGlade has left the game, but I'm looking at the game. Right, that's also, it's Ben Tusting SimRace TV. Wow, this is interesting. I will apologise on behalf of all of FSR that this doesn't generally happen. As we've done, what, 12 rounds? This is our 12th round, and I've not seen this before. The server's restarting. Okay, the server is just getting really messed up. I've got some questions. Yes, it is. Sorry. To Micro Spec V, yes, it is absolutely a full race distance that we are going to be doing. And if we have another few DC, will the race be rescheduled? No, that's not a question for me. That's a question for the other two who are within my company, because I haven't got a clue what would happen then if people disconnect again, if the same problem again and again, because this is going to start really playing against some people. Yeah, I think we're gonna restart the server again. Oh, yeah, the server will be restarted shortly, and hopefully we won't have some big mega problems. Alright. Server back up again? Maybe. Hopefully this time to be a bit more secure. I'm seeing that everyone's joining the game. My game's freaking out a bit. Right, we're in. Right. And we're at the start of the weekend, of course. Cause, we're not gonna restart the whole weekend. It's just the race. It's just because we're restarting the server and playing about with things, and we're waiting for everyone to join now. Then we'll move through into the race. Then we'll start the race. Then everyone will disconnect again. That's not what's going to happen. Hopefully, we will actually get a little bit further this time. Also, whilst we're speaking of things that are random that's going to happen, put in some questions. Give me some questions. I want questions. Just as I've said that, we've had questions. Don't take this seriously, it's just a joke. But is a server... Wow, okay, now I can't finish that sentence. Because it might be construed as somewhat racial. This is why you should always read questions before reading them out. It wasn't really, but... right, Kevin Siggy's actually out on track. Not that that's of any importance to anyone. Also had some questions, or things. Okay, also, what we've got is that directors said that if the server fails between 25% and 50% of laps done, then the race will be rescheduled. Okay, so there we go. If that happens, then so if the server fails when we're within 25% and 50% of race distance, then the race will be rescheduled to a different time. I would assume maybe next weekend, something like that. Actually, no, it can't be next weekend because there's Formula 1 on. And it can't be the weekend after that because there's Formula 1 on. That would be somewhat awkward. Right. Alright, so we've got 23 people in the server, which isn't everyone. Who have we got? We got Ron Squire, so we can always have some nice racing. We got me, so it's always going to be excellent. We don't, however, have... I don't think we've got Alberts. Or Tusting. Do we have Tusting? Yeah, we do have Mark Alberts. We don't have Ben Tusting, though. Right. So, yes, Mark Respect V, you would be right. If this is going to happen, then we will be rescheduled. But we've got 22 people in the server, when considering I think we had 30 earlier on. Also, we've had someone who can't race. I'm actually just going to flick through the chat very quickly. Right. So, let me get the pronunciation up. Ha-ha! Well, it's alright, it's kind of from that you can kind of guess who I'm talking about. But it's Radir Voljovic. He cannot be taking part in the race because he doesn't have time now, so see you, good luck. 42 laps, how hard can it be? Probably not so very hard, Ron, but I've tried driving these cars and I can do it for about 5 laps before I've dumped into a wall somewhere. And also Ben Tusting has rejoined the game. No, Alberts is definitely in the game. Also, the clock is 57 because we're at the start of the weekend, and this is a practice session. We'll be skipping through in a mo once everything's sorted for quali. But yeah, that's why we're at 55 minutes remaining, and apparently starting in 3 minutes time. And then we're moving to warm up now. Then we'll be starting in 3 minutes time. Right? Okay, I'm with it. I'm totes with it, legit. Okay, right, so the race start will time 13:30. It's actually British summer time, but so it's 12:30 GMT, I think, unless my computer's decided to reset itself to GMT. And yep, we are in the warm-up session now, which will last not very long at all, literally 2 minutes. And they're all crowding themselves down at the end of the pit lane, as if it's the start of quali. No, we will not be doing quali again. The starting grid will be decided on exactly what we had for quali previous. So Alvaro Torres will be starting from pole position once again, alongside Jaakko, who's hopefully going to go for a better start. And is Holmes back in there? Yep, Jonathan Holmes will start from third. Who was fourth? Franz Schneider. So Franz Schneider will still be there. I think that's all from memory. And I think we've got everyone in position. And we're all getting ready to move through into the race session, as we've got them all just charging around corners for no good reason. It's just for a bit of overtaking practice. Franz Schneider trying to do that on Ben Tusting. Yep, in big capital letters, the director is saying that we're going to be moving in 1 minute. And good luck to all. And here we go. Second time lucky. We have 30 seconds for everyone to get to the grid. For take two. And this time, I will say, the last time I was in South Korea before FSR, there was a red flag and the race was restarted. The race was restarted here, not for a red flag though. So that's always fun. Also, I've just clicked on absolutely the wrong thing. Excellent. Don't you just love it when you do that? The broadcast's been going for an hour. God, your ears must be blowing themselves up listening to an hour of me waffling on about nothing for the last 60 minutes. It's alright, you got 42 laps more of that, and that's going to be about an hour again. So you got another hour of this voice. How does that make you feel? I bet you want it to be delayed now. Anyway, leading them off for the second time in a day. Alvaro Torres is in first position. I will actually flip through the grid once again for anyone who's just joining. Also, for anyone who's just joining, we had a massive disconnection. But yes, Alvaro Torres took pole position in front of Jaakko Peugeot. Then it's Holmes. I'm also going to sneeze, but it's fine. Franz Schneider is in fourth. Daniel Kiss in fifth. Ben Tusting sixth. Obviously, as I've said, trying to look to take the lead of the championship. Renz Klopp seventh. Leitner in eighth. Siggy in 9th, Guerrero in 10th, Alberts championship leader in 11th position, Carlos Martin in 12th, there's Campus in 13th, Sadler in 14th, Falcon 15th, Jackson went in 16th position, Gallia in 17th, Muru in 18th, Ron Squire is up into 20th, Valeriano obviously not being able to put in his time in the qualifying session, is in 23rd, and 24th is Gabriel. And yes, you would have heard me jump. Right. Ron Squire is actually 19th, Valeriano is actually 21st, and Gabriel is 22nd. It's because we've got the director and me and SimRacing TV in there, and that's why there was a massive jump. Right, that's an interesting thing. If we get the same DCing in the World Championship, what will happen then? Will the director reschedule that? Oh, that is a very interesting question, and I'm really not sure. And it turned out it was a DDoS attack on server. I will wait for that to be absolutely confirmed. But I do remember that there was people saying that it could have been there was a DDoS attack, a DDoS attack even, idiot. On some people and things like that. I'm leaving it as skepticism and patiently waiting until anything's been confirmed. And if you don't know what a DDoS attack is, Google it. Also, Jonathan Holmes has complained that there's 1500 ping, which, by the way, ping is I think it's milliseconds to a server reaction thing, mob thing. That was a really poor explanation. It's basically how much people are lagging. Okay. Calling a turn 1 pile up or a red flag. And a red flag, right. Also, we've got some people complaining of lag. So, this is going to be interesting. As they're all lining up on the grid for the second time today. And I have more glare now in the middle of the screen, which is just excellent. And we're just waiting for the lights above the drivers to signal the start of the race. And here we go. for that. Yeah, they're all away for the second time today, and this time Bushover's got a better start. Franz Schneider, though, having an excellent start for the second time in a row. Oh, that's some contact there between one of the Pescara cars in the back of Jörg Bushove. I'm not sure who that was, but I'll go back and check in just a minute. Hopefully Bushover's okay. Daniel Kiss, though, moves himself up into third position. Alvaro Torres still leading as they head down the straight. I think it was Renz Klopp now who's missing. Yeah, it is Renz Klopp missing his front wing. Jonathan Holmes moves up back into fourth position, and thanks to his response time is deeping. Ben Tusting, though, diving straight up the inside in turn 3 and moving himself straight up into fourth position. I'm seeing a lot of carnage in the background with front wings disappearing, flying off, jumping about, and everything. Now Jonathan Holmes is attacking the inside of Ben Tusting, but he's not going to do it as Ben Tusting secures himself into a lovely fourth position. Jonathan Holmes, though, moving back a couple of positions from the start of the race. Kevin Siggy up into 6th. Excellent stuff there from him, coming under attack from someone with no front wing, which is Renz Klopp. Obviously jumping back and is going to need to pit at the end of this lap. Norbert Leitner is going to try and attack the inside of. He's actually gone past Klopp. What am I talking about? Klopp, though, jumping back behind Alberts, and he's going to come across the track, which isn't going to work out too well for him. Sadler jumping back behind Falcon. And who is that? Where's Falcon these days? Falcon, it was Campus, was the other one that he dropped behind. And Ron Squire is at the back, but hasn't had the best of start. I just thought I'd have a look to see where he's gone, but he's still on track and he doesn't look like he's got any damage to the car, so excellent stuff. Carlos Martin has gotten past Fernando Guerrero for 10th position, the last of the top 10. I was going to say last of the points, that's absolutely not what happens here. We've got a couple of drivers going off in the background. I think that could have been Renz Klopp. Also, I think Sadler's not got a front wing as well. Yep, Sadler does not, in fact, have a front wing, who's kind of sandwiching Gabriel in between. And, there's a lot of contact between the two of them. Oh, wow. Valeriano, I think, clipped the wall there as well. And that was not a pretty sight as people were trying to get past other people. And Jörg Bushove is out, starting from second position. Once again, not having a particularly great start to the racing afternoon. Alvaro Torres, however, leads by 8/10 of a second in front of Franz Schneider, who's being hunted down now by Daniel Kiss and Ben Tusting. And obviously these two are looking, as in Ben Tusting and Franz Schneider, looking to go up in the championship. I'm also seeing quite a few position changes around, as well as Siggy is on the outside of Leitner for turn 4. Is he going to do it? No, I don't think he is. Leitner's got the inside. Siggy's trying to get the cut back, but Leitner has 6th position in his hands. Siggy down into 7th. Alberts, though, right in the back of this from 11th position, jumps up into 8th. And has passed Guerrero and Carlos Martin on his little travels. And the top 10 as it currently stands: Torres, Schneider, Kiss, Tusting, Holmes, Leitner, Siggy, Alberts, Guerrero. And we're having a lot of movement around now as Carlos Martin is in the wall. Carlos Martin is in the wall and is going to be completely out of this race. And that is an absolute shame for him, especially considering he got himself up into the top 10. Kevin Siggy, though, is going to come under attack from Mark Alberts anytime soon as they're heading into the 3rd sector. And Carlos Martin has, in fact, left the server. Don't blame him. I would have done. And, we're just waiting to see what's going to happen between the rest of them. We only had 2 DNFs now. That is Carlos Martin and Jörg Bushove. And things are now going to start calming down until everything just explodes. And the gap between the lead, 1.5 seconds between Alvaro Torres and Franz Schneider. Daniel Kiss moving himself to the back of that. I'm going to possibly have a look down in towards, not towards turn 3 or 4, because he's not going to be close enough, but if he gets a good drive off of 3, he may have a look at 4. We'll just have to patiently wait. I see in the background, Jonathan Holmes is going to come under attack from Norbert Leitner, and actually Leitner's through before turn 3. And is that going to be the case as Holmes? No, yeah, that's absolutely the case. Leitner is moving his way through the grid and moved up into 5th. I've also seen that Siggy's passed, no, Siggy's not passed out, but someone else is jumping about. No, it's actually just a few people jumping about. Gallia is attacking Falcon down in towards turn 4. And he's going to be on the outside, the inside, the cutback, the outside, the inside, the cutback. And Gallia is going to be 12th position at the end of this duel. I don't think he's going to get cut back through 6. So that is absolutely what happens. Falcon in 8th position, Gallia in 12th. Gap between the lead now, 2 seconds. It's gapping quite quickly. Alvaro Torres is completely on this at the moment, and Franz Schneider not quite as much. He's going to have to start defending quite heavily from Kiss and Tusting at any time soon, and also Leitner, considering his pace and his overtaking ability around this track at the moment. showing that he'll possibly move himself up into the duel for first, or for second even, anytime soon. Their gap between the leads actually dropped a little bit. It's now 1.6 seconds. And that's the current state of affairs here in South Korea. And as they cross the line, the gap between the lead, 1.4 seconds. Franz Schneider gapping Daniel Kiss just a little bit, and Ben Tusting is now going to come under fire from Norbert Laitner as well. So he's having a great race at the moment, is Norbert, for Crowd 7 Netrex, and is now half a second off of the rear wing of... actually, here comes Ben Tusting on Daniel Kiss. I was not really looking at that, that's why, because the braking was a bit too late. However, Tusting has got this one sorted out, and has moved himself up into third position. And he's going to come under attack from Kiss into turn 4. This is a primary overtaking opportunity, but if Kiss can get it right, he's going to defend Laitner, though. He's going to have a little bit of a cutback, and he's going to get past Kiss. So Laitner moves up past Kiss. Kiss not having a great corner there, dropping 2 positions in as many corners. So there we go, Ben Tusting up into the podium position. The gap between the lead, 1.929 seconds. And for you Ben Tusting fans who's going for the lead of the championship this race, he is 3 seconds off of the lead. 3 seconds. Yeah, it is 3 seconds off the lead, 1 second off of the back of Franz Schneider, and he's coming under attack by Norbert Laitner, who's been, as said, making progress through the field. He started 7th position and has been moving himself position by position up into 4th, and he's looking like he's increasingly strong on the current tyres, possibly running the softs. Maybe other people aren't. I'll have to wait and see what's going to happen there. Franz Schneider 1.5 seconds off of the lead. This is fluctuating just a bit, and it seems like Schneider's pretty handy in the 3rd sector as they're about to head round turn 17 and to cross the line once again for the 4th time this afternoon in this race. The gap between lead, 1.3 seconds, but I think Alvaro Torres has got an advantage in this 1st sector. Ben Tusting, though, coming under attack by Norbert Laitner once again. Through turn 3, though, they are staying in formation, and it's 2.8 seconds off the lead now for Tusting, so he has closed that in just a little bit through the 3rd sector. That was quite a while ago. Norbert Laitner, though, is going to have a look. Doesn't actually do anything, though, through turn 4. I don't think he was quite close enough to make a move that was going to stick. So what's the point in making a move if it isn't going to stick? Through the 1st sector, the gap between the lead, 1.775 seconds. The gap between Tusting and Schneider, about 1.5. So Tusting dropping off the back of Schneider, as Schneider is dropping off the back of Torres. However, as has been stated, it's the 3rd sector where Franz Schneider closes in on the back of Alvaro. So keep an eye on that. And I'm going to have a little flick through the grid and see where people are. It seems like Rensquop. You know what I was trying to get. I was getting at Rensklop and Ronsquire. Rensklop, though, has just dropped another position and is running last to James Sadler, who's just gone past. These two, though, been into the pits. Ron Squire has passed Rainy Muru, who's had an off. Ron Squire running in 16th position, so excellent stuff from him at the moment. Gabriel from the back of the grid, running behind Valeriano, who's been running from the back of the grid as before. Jackson went in 13th position, Gallagher in 12th, Falcon in 11th, and that's all your positions leading up into the top 10. Laitner, though, is going to be having a nice run on Ben Tusting, heading down in towards turn 3. Is he going to be late on the brakes? Who's going to be latest of the latest? He's on the outside through 3, but he's going to get pushed wide. So that's not going to work out there for Laitner, but he's clearly showing that he's faster than Tusting at the moment and can be in position to be making that move anytime soon. The gap between the lead over the line was actually 1.5 seconds, but Tusting now is on the inside of 4. He pushes Laitner wide. Laitner's not got the drive, so Norbert is going to have to stick with 4th position for at least another lap, unless you can make a move through 10 or anything like that. So not at least another lap. We've literally just done the 1st sector, Lewis. Jesus. 2 seconds between the lead, so it's fluctuating a bit. They head round into turn 10 does Norbert Laitner and Ben Tusting. Norbert most certainly not close enough. to even attempt to move. Daniel Kiss, though, dropping off the back of this train. Mark Alberts still behind Siggy. And Siggy is definitely holding one Alberts and one Campus up. Campus is going to have a look on Alberts, as Alberts didn't have a great drive off of turn 10. As they head through the 11, 12 and 13 section, where they get very, very close to that wall on the outside, and then very, very close to this wall, and then cuts across the apex, does Alberts. So excellent stuff. Get close to that wall as well. They really like getting close to the walls on this part of the track. As Alberts is very, very close now to the back of Kevin Siggy. Is he going to make a move going through into turn 3? But I'm going to jump back up with Leitner, who's not had the best drive of turn 1 or turn 2, getting a bit sideways. So I think this could be good for Ben Tusting for at least another lap. Back to Siggy with Alberts. Is Alberts going to be closing up? Let me jump to the onboard. And we'll see if he absolutely closes up into the braking zone. I don't think he is. So it's not too good there for Alberts in 8th position. Siggy looking like he's got a good car behind him. Below him, even. Alberts, though, is ever closer, but not close enough to make a move. And yeah, we're not really having too many position changes at the moment, but we are only 7. We're on our 7th lap today at the moment, so a lot to go for the next 42, or for the next 42, for the next however many 42 is off of. It's 35. Well done, Lewis. Got a B in maths. Can't do any maths. Excellent. And yes, they do get very, very close to the wall. Very, very close to the wall. Scarily close to the wall. But as I said earlier on, most of the drivers don't even notice that much. It's just the line they follow. It's just where they want to go. It's kind of natural. It flows. With some drivers, they just like getting close to the wall. They're almost magnetic. Gap between Fran Schneider and Alvaro Torres probably going to be about 1.3, 1.2 seconds as they're going to cross the line if Fran Schneider's hooked up a decent third sector. And across the line, the gap is 1.4. Yeah, close enough. Ben Tusting, though, gapping Leitner just a little bit, but if Norbert's going to get a nice drive off of this corner, then that half a second advantage that Tusting's got may be closely diminishing through this first sector. Let's ride on board and see if Norbert's obviously closing. He is a bit, but not close enough. So I think that position will be staying as it is. And I don't know if we're going to have too many position changes over the next little while. As we've got Alberts on the back of Siggy once again. See if he can actually get a good drive off of turn 3 and move himself up into that 7th position and start closing down on the back of Jonathan Holmes. And I'm sorry, it's not math. It's not math. I'm British. It's maths. There's an S in the end. Sorry, or mathematics, if you like. Also, Carlos Martin can confirm he won't be running in. Yep, he won't be running in World Trophy anymore. That's a very big shame there for Carlos. So. What a shame. What a shame. It's always nice seeing you out on track there, buddy. Gap between the lead, 1.170 seconds. As Fran Schneider is closing in on the lead of the race. Maybe Alvaro Torres, I don't think had the best second sector, actually, because Tusting closed in a little bit as well on the lead, 2.6 behind. And as they cross the third sector to finish the lap, the gap is 1 second flat. So Schneider is closing in on the back of Alvaro Torres. Obviously not going to be in close enough to close in down the straight. He's not going to get the most out of the slip. So he might close in a little bit, but not enough to get a run for the position. And neither will Leitner on Tusting, I don't think. I'll have a quick look. Nope, absolutely not close enough. Alberts on Siggy, maybe? Don't think they're close enough. Nope, they most certainly are not, which is a shame for Alberts because this is really costing him in the championship. If he can't move up anymore, considering Ben Tusting's position, Ben Tusting will be leaving South Korea with the championship lead. However, still not a race win. Just as a quick point out, still not a race win. Gap between the lead as we cross the first sector, 1.5 seconds. And we discussed this yesterday about the rain and weather. Is that there isn't a stable enough plugin, really, because the plugin for rFactor 1, rFactor 1 doesn't generically support weather, and there is a plugin for it. It's called RFE, but it's not particularly stable. And rFactor 2's weather's most certainly not stable enough. We have played about with it for quite a bit. So weather implementing maybe soon, but not soon as in like the next few races. I've also just seen that there's been a little bit of moving around, or maybe it was just my rFactor freaking out again. Alberts has dropped back behind Campus. That's exactly where it's happened. And also Guerrero's closed into the back of this for P9. And is he going to be making a move anywhere else? But yes, Alberts there dropping a position back, and Alberts drops into the pits. So Alberts pits first of them. Alvaro Torres continuing to go around, Ben Tusting continuing to defend from Norbert Leitner, and is probably going to be coming under attack this time round. Nope, they absolutely are not close enough. And that is as it's going to stay for this lap, maybe 3 and 4 for the two of those. In the background, anyone attacking? Siggy seems to be a bit comfortable at the moment. And then, yeah, we're all having a little bit of a breathing moment. Everyone's got a little bit of room. I've also noticed that Ron Squire's out of the race. That's a shame. He was out of the race a few laps ago, which is not too good for his Grid 1 debut. And I'm just going to check the current battle between the lead. 1.397 seconds, so it's gapped out just a little bit. And I don't think it's going to be closing up. Let's see what it is as they cross the line. Remember, the closest that we've seen it, 1 second flat. It's going to be 1.3, 1.2, 1.1, nearly 1.2. And oh, there you go. Ron Squires currently left the server, and we're not having too much action at the moment. So if you want to post questions, as you have, MicroSpecV, if you want to post questions, post them in the chat now. I'll flick through them. I'll read them, because we've not really got much action going on at the present moment in time. We did have Alberts who set the fastest second sector, so that could come into play. May actually jump Siggy, which will work out quite nicely for him. But yes, if you want to post a question, ask a question to me or anyone in the broadcast booth at the moment, such as Jaakko Mikkonen or Sam Jones, then post away. And the gap between the lead, 1.4549. 549. Good job, Lewis. Good that I can read out numbers. God, that's all I'm doing these days. Why isn't there a Singapore GP track issue? There is a Singapore GP. It's the next round we're going to. It's the prior to the season, it was announced that there was 15 rounds, with one round that we weren't really going to know about. And then it was kind of like, all right, we're just going to have 14 rounds. And now I've got 15 rounds as Singapore does appear, and we'll be going there in 2 weeks' time. So that will be fun. And that'll be a track that I'm looking forward to, because Singapore's always an interesting Grand Prix to see how many people can you plough into a wall. Never driven there myself. Well, other than in F1 games. But, you know, it's always a good one. Also, I'm just seeing that I think someone's pitted. Someone pitted. I don't think anyone's pitted. No, but someone was moving around a bit. But Alvaro Torres to Fran Schneider. 1 second between the two of them as they cross the line, so it is gapping out a bit. Also, I've seen that Kiss has dropped back from Tusting. Who's now securing himself in the third position. And I unfortunately I can't give you any action because I'm terrible. But I think with Singapore for the next race, that's going to be very, very interesting, and hopefully gonna spice things up for the championship. Why does FSR keep running in RF1? Because R Factor 1 is possibly the best simulator that we can be using at the moment. There isn't really another one that can match it on the specific criteria that we want. Like, I mean, R Factor 2 has other problems when it comes to not being ready. It's not really stable enough. We've tried this in the winter series earlier on in the year, the first thing that I ever did commentary on, and my god, it was boring. There wasn't very much that happened. A lot of people crashed out, and a lot of people disconnected. It wasn't stable enough as a platform, and it's R Factor 2 is not stable enough. Also, it doesn't have the right tracks or the right cars. Also, Galli is out of the race whilst I speak, and I don't think anyone's pitted, so no. And iRacing, yes, you could move to iRacing, but it's super, super expensive. Also, I'm being told to go shout and look at Guerrero, who's on the inside of Campus going down into turn 1. Good shout. So Guerrero moves himself up into P7 past Campus, but is going to be under attack now if we when we head down into turn 3. But iRacing is, I don't think iRacing is particularly the way forward for us, because that can be quite expensive. And yep, right, they're still in position. So Guerrero moves himself up into 7th position, which is excellent. And Leitner and Falcon, rightio, in the background. Leitner is trying to get himself up into 9th position. Leitner, who has pitted, I believe. Yes, he has. But trying to move himself up past Falcon, and he's done it on the inside of turn 4. And yep, Leitner has confirmed his position into turn 9, and hopefully to get the pace to move himself up into the Tustin Kisbau as he was in once before. Aurora Torres though, heading into the 3rd sector. No, he's already in the 3rd sector. See, I always get mixed up because there's a bit that looks exactly the same in the 2nd sector as it does in the 3rd sector. However, rounding turn 17 once again. Is he going to be braking and heading to the pits? Absolutely not. He's staying out. So is Franz Schneider. So is Tusting. So's Kiss. Yes, so's Kiss. So's probably Holmes, if I'm honest. But yeah, about the simulator is that R Factor is just, it's a stable one, and that's what we need. Is we need stability when you're, well, you say that as, you know, everyone disconnected earlier on. It's a stable format for us to go racing. It works. People own it. People don't like change. R Factor 2, there are leagues that are racing in it, and I have raced in it before, but it's not ready. It's absolutely not ready. I don't think it's optimized particularly well. But it's there, but it's just not ready. So I think we'll be sticking with R Factor. It depends on what's going to happen next year. But at present, R Factor 1's a good option. It's a good stable option. I know that there are other leagues that are sticking with R Factor 1 for their next couple of seasons, or next season anyway, for a few of them, and it's a good stable sim. We've got a lot of tracks. Like, we could go, I want to go to Magical Land, and then we can download the track for Magical Land, and that's what we can do here on things like R Factor 2. There isn't enough tracks available. You have to go, well, I have to go here because that's all we have available. You end up going to some really silly places, like Croft. I like Croft, don't worry. But like if you want to go to Spa, there's the 1967. Is it 1967 version of Spa? But not the current version. You want to go to Monaco, there's an old version of Monaco, but not a new version of Monaco. Whereas on this, you can download all of them. And go. I mean, you just see the size of my R Factor folder. It's massive because it's just like, oh, that sounds like a really good idea. I'll just download that. So for that, R-Factor 1, most stable solution at the moment, and I think we'll be sticking with that. Sorted. Me, rant, over. It's not really a rant, is it? Anyway, gap between the lead, 1.315 seconds between Alvaro Torres and Franz Schneider. Tusting, 1.1 seconds behind that, so Tusting closing up to the back of Schneider, bit by bit, lap by lap. And where are we now? Ben Tusting's quite a little bit off of that duel. Kevin Siggy closing onto the back of Holmes. Is he? Nope. Oh no, that's why I've clicked on the wrong thing. I was like, he's not in that position. Oh right, okay. And right, where are we now? Guerrero in 7th position. I'm just gonna really quickly flick through the top 10 because why not? Alvaro Torres leads. Franz Schneider, Ben Tusting, Kiss, Holmes, Siggy, Guerrero is in 7th position. And then Leitner in 8th, Falcon in 9th, and Alberts in 10th position. He qualified 11th, but he's closing into the back of Falcon and has already pitted. So this is looking pretty good for Alberts to move himself up a few positions and move himself not too far off of the championship lead. So it could be good. I think he's probably going to lose today though if Tustin keeps himself on track. So that's the way it's going to be looking. And I think they're all staying out again. They are indeed. So they're really pushing these tyres, that might not work out for Alberts, considering Alberts has already pitted. And yeah, they are all just going to stay out for a bit. People are going to have to shout at me when people are pitting because I can't really see. And it's 1 second between the lead, but that's going to really change when they pass the first sector. 1.7, wow. Alvaro Torres has really got this car hooked up for this first sector, which is absolutely where all the overtaking is. So this could work out for Alvaro Torres now. And it's 1 second between Franz Schneider and Ben Tusting, so this could be playing into the hands of Tusting to move himself up yet another position. And, yep, that's really all that's happening right now. Let's have a look, see if anyone's beating each other up. It seems that Alberts has gotten past Falcon. Yes, any more questions? Shout out to Ron. Any more questions? We've got went on Klopp. Renz Klopp obviously lost his front wing early on in the race. I don't know if they've overtaken each other recently. Yes, they have. Right, so Klopp's actually gotten past Went. Valeriano from the back of the grid in a bit of no man's land, as is Gabriel in a bit of no man's land. Sadler also a bit of no man's land. He lost his front wing earlier on in the race as well, and then Reinu Muru is the only car a lap down. Still no one pitting. Oh. Okay, that's an interesting DNF. Mark Alberts out of the race. Let's have a see what happened to him. I got him to miss his front wing and everything, so hang on. Ouch, he just grinded himself into the wall. Lost his front wing. And he's out of the race. So that's not worked out for Mark Alberts at all. And Jackson went into the pits. So in the consideration, Mark Alberts is out. This could be playing right into the hands of Ben Tusting. Could gap himself in. Wow, I'm just a bit shocked by that. Alberts is out of the race. Well, nevertheless, we had 5 DNFs: Alberts, Gallia, Ron Squire, Carlos Martin, Yorick Bischoff. So rate of attrition, another one. That's Adrian Falcon, who looked like he just disconnected. And he's out. Right, okay, we're at that point. But from what I've seen, Falcon's the only one to have disconnected. as Alberts didn't. Alberts decided a good idea to plough into the wall. And that is the current state of affairs. 60 DNFs. Alvaro Torres still leads. Wow, really messed that one up. Alvaro Torres still leads. 1.6 seconds to his name of the lead. And 1 second between the two drivers behind of Franz Schneider and Ben Tusting. Okay, I'm also being told the Falcon didn't disconnect, he just stopped. Right, okay, didn't see that. Very well. Also, Franz Schneider dropped a little bit off the lead that time and is now within 0.7 of a second of Ben Tusting. So Tusting looking like he could be challenging for that second position at any point. I saw it in the comments that I think Schneider's going to win this. I think Alvaro Torres has got this one. But there's a long way to go before the end of the race as Alvaro Torres winds his way through the third sector. Gets close to the wall, clips the apex. Is he, though, going to enter the pit lane at the end of this lap? Heads around 16 through 17. Is he going to keep right? He absolutely is not. He stays left, keeps going around once more, and finishes lap 18 to start 19. As he's about to come up and lap one James Sadler. Schneider setting a purple sector 2, so Schneider's definitely got the pace in him. So it's not completely over yet, but Schneider looking like he's really pumping out the last bit of these tyres, possibly heading into the pits anytime soon. We see it's quite a bit. They see how much left they've got on the tyres and when they're going to pit soon. They just absolutely go for it. And then enter the pits, change the tyres, and get ready to go. Ben Tusting, though, look at how much he's closed in on the back of Franz Schneider in the first sector. See what the gap between the two of those is going to be. As Alvaro Torres is heading up into, he's lapped James Sadler. And the gap between the lead as they pass the first sector split, 1.5 seconds. Tusting dropping a little bit back from turn 6. And is now 0.7 off of the back of the Ghost Speed Racing Team's car. I just saw that someone saying that with the way it's going for Alberts, this is not going to be a season. The amount of times this season has changed. The amount of times that someone's been up there, then they haven't, then they've changed, then they haven't, then they have. Who did it start off? I think it was Marco Zippoli, who started off with the I'm running away with it now and I'm going to disappear, and then he didn't return. I can't remember why he didn't return. I think either he didn't return or was not allowed to, and then returned, I think, for Italy, and didn't have the best race there. Or was it Suzuka? No, it wasn't Suzuka because I wasn't here. So it changes all of the time. Does this? It's the same with the World Series. These two are looking excellent because they're consistently changing with who's got the advantage, and that's always good to see because it's who's going into Brazil with the biggest advantage and who can drive into Lagos as well as they can. They are going to be the ones that's going to be looking pretty sweet for the championship, as you would suspect. Sounds really obvious, is really obvious. Quite difficult to do though, because although I know so many drivers who love driving into Lagos, I'm one of them. Some of us aren't very fast there though. We may be able to set laps there all day, but if we're not fast around there, then the championship could fall into someone else's hands. So it's all about that consistent speed. And obviously with no weather, Interlagos isn't that crazy. It's circa 2008 Formula 1, 2007 Formula 1. It's not that crazy. Did I say 2008, 2007? I meant 2012. I can't remember if 2007 was rainy. Maybe I didn't say that. Maybe I'm just crazy. Gap between the lead as they cross the second sector split. 1.3 seconds it was between Alvaro Torres and Franz Schneider. Is Alvaro Torres going to come into the pits this lap? Yes, he is. Is Franz Schneider Yes, he is. Is Ben Tusting? Yes, he is. Is Daniel Kiss? Yes, he is. Alright, I'm recognising the line now for pitting. Torres messed up his pit entry. Oh dear. Yes, you can see that Schneider's closed in an awful lot. Jonathan Holmes, though, is going to take the lead. Good boy. So, Jonathan Holmes there in the lead of the South Korea World Trophy race, Grand Prix thing. Alvaro Torres, though, did leave the pits in the lead and doesn't seem to be too disadvantaged, especially considering Sector 1 is where he's strong. Jonathan Holmes there, weaving. Enjoy that he's leading the race. Alvaro Torres probably not going to start weaving to get warmth in his tyres, because if he does, then that could be construed as weaving for putting off previous driver and making them crash into a wall. I don't think that's how it's written in the regulations, but still. Alvaro Torres, though, our hopefully, maybe, eventual race leader in a few laps' time when Jonathan Holmes decides to call it quits and jump into the pits. Closely followed by Franz Schneider and Ben Tusting. Gap between the two of Franz Schneider and Alvaro Torres was 2.6. It was 1 second flat, and then through the second sector, obviously where Schneider's strongest, that dropped to 0.6. So I think that's going to drop maybe another tenth in this third sector. But then will gap itself out in the first. We'll just have to see. It probably won't gap itself up as much as usual though, because Franz Schneider's going to have the slipstream. Oh, Franz Schneider really pushing there, as Jonathan Holmes did jump straight into the pits. And so this is now for the lead. 0.7 of a second the gap between the two of them. 8 tenths the gap between the two behind, which is Schneider and Tusting. Holmes is going to come out in probably in front of Campus. Yeah, I think he will, but we'll probably lose that. No, they're going to come out side by side. So Campus is through on Holmes. Holmes out in front of Siggy. And that is absolutely what's happened there. So Holmes down in 7th position after leading 1 lap. GG. And yep, that is actually something which I thought I saw, is that Holmes cut the pit exit line. And that is absolutely what I thought. So that may come back to bite him a bit. However, gap between the lead, 1.2 seconds. As they finish the first sector and heading down through turn 9 and into 10. So 1.2 seconds. 7 seconds, 0.7 of a second between Tusting and Schneider. And these load have a 6.8 second gap now to Daniel Kiss, who's in 5th position, who's not in 4th position anymore. That's what I was meant to say, is 4th position. But he was actually in Norbert Leitner was in 4th. Okay, so I think my live timing may have just messed up ever so slightly then, because mine read that Daniel Kiss was in 4th position. Also, Jonathan Holmes has actually gotten past Alassio Campos for the 6th position, and Franz Schneider ever so close to the lead, but I think he'll drop it quite a lot more in the first sector, where we've seen him do it many a time. He doesn't have the setup for that. He has a setup for the second and third sector, but for the first, where the two primary overtaking opportunities of 3 and 4, that's where those two are. So he's really got one corner where he can seriously make it and have an advantage, and that is obviously turn 10. But going now, apparently an hour and 43 minutes and 27 seconds. Although it's a bit longer than that now, because of YouTube delay and things. So we're going for quite a while. And up through turn 6, the gap between the lead, 1.1 seconds. Kiss on Leitner, rightio. Leitner keeping his 4th position. Kiss though ever so close. Yeah, but look at this. Down towards turn 9 and 10. This is where an overtaking opportunity is if you're really, really brave. And Kiss, tried it. Didn't work. Probably going to cost him a couple of tenths. But I don't think it'll cost him too badly. If he lines himself up for a good run through the third sector, and then when he heads into sector 1, this could work out quite nicely for him. Gap between the leaders across the line is 0.6 of a second. So Franz Schneider showing that he's got a clear advantage through sector 3 and sector 2. But Torres' advantage in sector 1 is to the extreme. So as much as this is a battle for first, whether it's actually a battle for position is something entirely different. Down into the braking zone of turn 3 and then down the straight. Just look at how much Alvaro Torres gaps. It's through the first sector split there that we'll really know, which is between 6 and 7. So once we've rounded this left, right, left section, we'll head to the first sector split, and then we'll know how much of an advantage Torres has got through the first sector. Here we go, passing it. 1 second now, the gap between the lead, and this is what we've seen quite a few times before. I don't think Schneider, unfortunately, is going to do it. And I will base this. I know we have a long time left in this race, and anything can happen, mistakes-wise from Alvaro Torres. But for outright positioning, the reason why I don't think it will happen is because Schneider doesn't have enough of an advantage in sector 1 to close into the back through turn 3 and turn 4. And then by the time they've gotten round, I will get onto that in a minute with just another DNF. But by the time they've gotten around to turn 10, which is the other thing that I said that is an overtaking opportunity, Schneider's too far back. However, to the other DNF, if I hit backspace, it's in the pit lane, just stops, and that's Giordano Valeriano. He stops, pits, escapes. Maybe he's just had enough. So Valeriano from the back of the grid, out of the race, which is a shame because he was doing quite well. Gap between the leaders across the line was 1 second flat, so Schneider not having too much of an advantage in the second and third sector. And from what I'm being told is Daniel Kiss is going to attack Leitner once again. I think he's a little bit too far back. He is indeed. And this is all for 4th position. And is he going to make a move? The gap on the line was apparently 0.1 of a second. Yes, it was indeed. Just having a look. So it was about 0.17 of a second if you really want to be exact. But Kiss ever so close through the first sector as they head around this left, right, left section of turn 4, 5 and 6, and then around the higher speed sections of 7, 8, 9, and then braking into 10. The gap between the two of them was 0.4 of a second. And I also thought I saw someone off the track, but I didn't. Kiss, nice and close. Schneider, not so much to Torres. It was 0.9 of a second as they passed the first sector. Passing through, past the second sector actually. Once again, me missing up where we actually are on track. But 0.9 of a second as they pass that sector split, and as we're about to cross the line, the gap is 0.858. And Ben Tustin keeping within a second of this lot. Daniel Kiss though, looking like he's getting ever closer for that first turn move. He's looking like he's really strong in the second sector. Here we go, down into turn 1. He's braked, he's got the position sorted, but is he going to be losing it once again down into turn 3? That is the big question. Can he keep it? He's keeping to the right inside so that Norbert Leitner has to go to the outside through turn 3. Not an easy move, one that can be achieved though. Daniel Kiss though has the advantage as they head down into 3, so Kiss could have this one sorted. Leitner though late on the brakes. Going to get their cut back. But isn't going to do it. Kiss is going to keep to the inside again. Is he? No, he's not. Kiss going to the outside this time. Knowing that Leitner's a little bit too far behind. So Kiss is getting a bit of a love tap there from Norbert Leitner. But has P4 all sorted out for him. So Daniel Kiss there up into P4 in front of Norbert Lehner, who's in P5. Top 10 at the moment. Torres, Schneider, Tusting. Battle for the lead. Daniel Kiss and Lehner battle for 4th, although it does look like Daniel Kiss has gapped Lehner quite a bit. Jonathan Holmes in 6th position and a bit of a breathing room, no man's land. 10 seconds to the car in front, about 4 seconds to the car behind, which is Campus, who's coming under attack by Siggy, who's just lost the rear end. Oh, Siggy lost the rear end going through turn 7. However, keeps it in 9th position. He drops position behind his teammate Fernando Guerrero. And Renz Klopp, who lost his front wing really early on in the race, is in 10th position. And Jackson Wendt, also the last driver who hasn't said. Oh, Alvaro Torres has an iffy entrance onto the first sector, and it was 0.3 of a second as we crossed the line. But Franz Schneider, now for the lead of the race, is it doesn't look like he's got the straight line advantage going through the first sector. But Franz Schneider for the lead of the race is looking pretty handy at the moment. Alvaro Torres not having the best of the previous lap and dropping back quite a bit. Here comes Franz Schneider, turn 4. Is he going to make a move? I don't think he's close enough. He absolutely is not, so he's gone quite deep for the cut back, which isn't going to be too much of an advantage. Alvaro Torres, though, keeping the lead of the race for possibly another lap, dependent on what Franz Schneider's going to do. Through the first sector, of course, seen that Fernando Guerrero has gone straight up the inside of Eliseo Campos for 7th position, back at 10.3. Back to Franz Schneider and Alvaro Torres. Franz Schneider very, very close through turn 10. Not close enough, though, to make a move. As we head into sector 2, the gap between the lead, 0.3 of a second. And they're both getting quite close to the wall, as they do. Alvaro Torres still leads, still has a comfortable advantage. However, down into turn 1, this is where I'm suspecting a move may happen. This is where Schneider is strong, is through this first, the final part of the third sector. And of course the cars are now lighter, they're burning off their fuel. And Alvaro Torres keeping his P1 through turn 1. However, here comes Schneider. He's gone to the outside. Inside even. Dumb. But look at Torres. Under braking. Oh, he's locked the front a bit. This could be good for Schneider. It's not. It absolutely didn't work. I've also noticed that Campos has been in the pits. That's why some position changing is going on back there. Franz Schneider, though, keeps his 2nd position. Alvaro Torres keeping the lead of the race. But for how long? Here comes Tusting. Wow, that was... I was riding on board. I didn't even see that happening. Oh, Schneider's been... Oh. Schneider tried taking it down the inside. And just got his front wing tapped. Ben Tusting, though, putting his nose where it don't belong, but moving himself up into 2nd position. Excellent stuff there from the... I do apologise. Ben Tusting, though, is in P2 at the moment and currently not dropping too far off the back of Alvaro Torres. Now he's going to get his chance for the lead of the race, heading down through the final part of Sector 3, round turn 17. He doesn't look like he's got a huge advantage under acceleration off of turn 16. So he's not going to be close enough now, and I don't think he's going to have a great drive over turn 1. But down into turn 1, the braking zone, Alvaro Torres locking up all over the place. Ben Tusting not close enough. Does he have a better car for the first sector? Well, we're heading through it now. And he's looking to be closing up, trying to get some fresh air into that car, because otherwise it's going to start overheating. I don't think he's going to be getting close enough for a move on P1. Looking down the rest of the grid, seeing for any combat that we've got. I think we're all in a bit of breathing room at the moment, and the only real action we've got out on track is for the lead. We have 14 runners. And the closest to those is Alvaro Torres and Ben Tusting. And it looks like it's going to be staying that way as well. However, Alvaro Torres gapped Ben Tusting in the first sector about 3/10. Can Ben Tusting pull this one back? These two similar in pace, same as Schneider. Schneider had fairly similar pace with Alvaro, as did Ben. So these three looking pretty similar in pace, which is excellent because I don't think Alvaro Torres is actually theoretically in the championship, but there's no reason why he can't be because he's not out of it either. Through the final sector, and to cross the line and finish lap 29 and head on to 30. 13 laps to go. The gap half a second. Franz Schneider 2.4 off of the lead. Heading round turn 2 once again. Not too much action again, as always. If you want to ask a question, post in the question thing. Post in the doobly-doo, the comment section, and I shall get around to reading it. As long as it's not "Where's Bono?" or what we'll be using next year as a simulator, because I'm not sure what we'll be using next year as a simulator. So, well, we'll have to wait and find out for that one. Also, Singapore next time out. If you're wondering that, we've had that question a couple of times now. Ben Tusting though, closing right onto the back of Alvaro Torres through sector 1. So Ben Tusting in good position, remembering that Ben Tusting has not taken a win yet this season. 0.2 of a second it was through the first sector. Ben Tusting getting very, very close to the back of Alvaro Torres. Is actually diving for the inside for turn 10. Oh, there's a bit of contact between two of them, but absolutely nothing wrong there. Alvaro Torres remains in the lead of the race. 1.9 seconds. Also, is Franz Schneider behind the two of these? Actually, it's 1.4, so it dropped quite a lot in that sector when Ben Tusting made his tiny little look on the inside of turn 10. Franz Schneider absolutely not out of it yet. Ben Tusting though, absolutely trying to make sure that he's still in the running for the race win today. Remember, he wants 50 points. He did cut turn 18 there, so if he makes a move into turn 1, I think that's a bit naughty. Don't think he will be. Look at Franz Schneider though, closing right up to the back of these two. He's now 1 second separating the top 3, and this is where it's all happening out on track at the moment. Alvaro Torres through the first of the massive straights here in South Korea. Still seems to have an advantage. Here comes Ben Tusting though, just pulling out of it under braking to make sure that the car stops without smashing into the back of Alvaro. And look at Franz Schneider in the background. He's working his way up to the back of these two once again. Ben Tusting pulling out a little bit, probably cost himself more time than it's worth. Should just stay behind Alvaro. I've also noticed that there's a little bit of movement around. Maybe it was just some sector changes. It's fine. Oh, actually, that's why. Kiss has been lagging about a bit. Right, okay. And Kiss is not out of the race. He's just lagging about. It's fine. Ben Tusting, though, on the inside of Alvaro Torres. Again, not making it move. Not making it stick. And leaving the door open for Schneider to close in just that little bit more. And Torres is the slowest guy in the top 9 apparently, so he's definitely holding Ben Tusting back. Good defensive driving though from Torres is what's leaving him in this position. Coming round the third sector to finish lap 31. Torres on 32, 11 laps to go. Who is going to be in the lead of the race by the time we've crossed the finish line for the checkered flag? Ben Tusting there, a little bit further behind as they've passed the third sector to finish the lap. As Alvaro Torres though, locking up into the first corner. It's going to cost him a little bit of time. Daniel Kiss once again lagging out all over my screen. It's currently stating, that's why Norbert Leitner has pitted once again and jumps himself down the order. Daniel Kiss moves himself up into 4th. And also Jonathan Holmes has moved past as well into 5th position. And now for the lead. It was 0.4 as they crossed the line. And Ben Tusting once again very close and having a look at turn 4. but just not close enough. He's almost pushing him around that corner. And Bentusting looking like he's absolutely got the pace and the heart to win this race at this present moment in time. He wants a championship lead. He'll get it if he stays in his current position. But he wants more than that. He wants a race win. He hasn't had one yet. And there's been... it's quite rare to see a driver... Oh, here comes he goes again. Oh, this is getting a bit dangerous now, Ben. And that is what happens when you do a move like that, is that he's under attack now from Schneider, and I think Schneider may have this one. Oh, does he? No, he doesn't. Schneider stays behind Bentusting. But that's what happens when you try making a move at turn 10, when you haven't got the move sorted at turn 10. What you need to do with that move is have absolute confidence that by the end of turn 10, once you've got around it, once you're in the traction zone, you are ahead. Because if you aren't, it's just going to cost the pair of your time, and that's exactly what happened to Bentusting there. Gap between the leaders as they cross the line. It is 0.3 of a second between Alvaro Torres and Bentusting, closing down in the braking zone. Franz Schneider not too far behind. They're all within 0.8 of a second as we head down the first of the really long straights, and then down into the heavy braking zone of turn 3. It's actually slightly downhill as well. Just shout out to that. Bit of undulation on this track, a bit hilly. And down into the braking zone. Bentusting closes once again. Is he going to be making a move into turn 4? He needs to get a really good drive off of turn 3, which I don't know if he had the most amazing of drives. And he didn't indeed. He stays behind. Doesn't fight too hard for position. And just accepts that he's going to leave himself in that position. Apparently Kiss may catch the leaders. I don't know if he will, because he's 13.7 seconds behind, and that is a long gap to close in. 0.4 of a second it was as they passed the first sector split. Bentusting, hopefully listening to the wise words of caution from myself to not try and make a move into turn 10 unless you're absolutely sure you're going to do it. And also I'm being told that Daniel Kiss is catching 1.4 seconds a lap to the front load. Also, it's because of Leitner pitted, and that's why my timing went a bit weird. So, yes, that's exactly... Are they going to stop anymore? Interesting. Leitner did. I don't know if anyone else has to. Doesn't look like they will be. And I do think they have to run both compounds here. They can run whatever they want. So they could have gone harder. And as the fuel burns off, the tyre wears less. So, I don't think they will. 0.4 of a second. That's the gap between the lead as they cross the line. And I don't know if anyone's going to be trying to make a move. It looks like Schneider's closing on the back of Bentusting for second position. But not close enough. Bentusting though, once again closing up to the back, but this is seeming like it's going to consistently happen a few times, ladies and gentlemen, is that they're all going to be closing up, and then gapping, and then closing, and then gapping, and then closing, and then gapping, and then closing, and then gapping. As that's the way it's currently working on a track that has this many different sectors, and this many different choices for setup, as it's quite clear that Alvaro Torres has made a very different choice in setup to Franz Schneider and Bentusting. Bentusting once again very close into turn 10, doesn't try and make a move though because he's not sure he can do it. Franz Schneider about a second off of these two now, and indeed go. Can Bentusting do this? Can Bentusting win his first race of the year, or will Alvaro Torres be going for his third? Through the third sector they're in now. 3:15 and 16. Bentusting absolutely on the rear wing of Alvaro Torres's positive SimRacing car. Down the pit straight, down into turn 1. I don't think Bentusting's close enough to try and make a move there, or even if that's a logical thing to do. He's had a nice drive off of turn 1. Nice enough? Maybe. Good enough? Maybe. Bentusting pulls out of the slipstream, but does he have the straight line speed to challenge Alvaro Torres? Here we go down into the braking zone. I don't think he does. He's getting the cutback. Oh, but Alvaro Torres absolutely comes out in front of him. And that was a bit naughty by Alvaro. He should have gone on his line, but he's gone for the extreme inside. Locked the rears. Ben Tusting. Oh, wow. How did Ben not lose his front wing there? Ben needs to be a bit more cautious of that, because that was a lot of contact that could have given Franz Schneider the win. Keep it calm, boys. Keep it calm. And keep it on track. Don't make any silly mistakes like you just did there, Ben. And the championship lead is yours. Heading into round 13. Franz Schneider, though, right on the back of that Hackspool racing car. Franz Schneider looking like he really wants to take that position away from him. Look, oh, Franz Schneider clipping the wall a bit there. Liking to get very close to these. But Franz Schneider once again staying behind 7/10. Is Alvaro as... wow, what the... was I saying there? Alvaro Torres's gap there is 7/10 of a second as they cross the line. It's going to be half a second as Franz Schneider is having a little look on the inside of turn 1. He's going to be late on the brakes and he's going to make this move stick. But will Ben Tusting have a good drive? Yes, he does. So Ben Tusting is going to be right on the back of that Coast Speed racing car as they head down the back straight, down into the braking zone of turn 3. Franz Schneider and Ben Tusting absolutely side by side, or at least it looked like it from that camera angle. Ben Tusting hopping onto the inside and taking the advantage through 3. And all this is doing is this is playing into the hands of Alvaro Torres, who's being allowed to gap a little bit now, as the two behind fight away. This race doesn't look like it's over even slightly. We're on lap 36 of 42. 7 to go. Wow. Yeah, wow. Wow, my math was correct. It was a wild guess that should have been correct, considering it's literally the 7 times table. Ben Tusting, though, looking like he's going to come under fire from Franz Schneider anytime soon. 1.2 seconds is Alvaro Torres' advantage, considering these two have been fine out behind. So Alvaro Torres could have a slightly decent advantage as they cross the line, because Ben Tusting looking like he's coming under a bit of fire from his rear wheels. Not looking like they're giving him the grip that he wants after the corner. And across the line, the time between P1 and P2, 1 second flat. And yes, Tusting and Schneider should, if they want to catch Alvaro Torres, they have to be working together. However, two drivers not driving for the same team very rarely happens. And Schneider's pulled out of the slipstream. Doesn't close it up though. I think he may realise at the moment that letting Tusting catch up to Alvaro and then maybe trying to move to take them both is going to play into his hands a hell of a lot better than consistently trying to take Tusting. But Alvaro Torres looking for his 3rd win of the year and moving himself more and more into championship contention. Alvaro Torres also is just a quick shout, is less than 100 points off of the championship lead, and when you get 50 points for a win, it's not too hard to imagine Alvaro Torres moving into the championship contention. However, the two people behind him, they're absolutely going for it as well. As I've said many times before, Ben Tusting will be in the lead of the championship if he maintains his current position, as closest championship rival Mark Alberts has dumped from the race. Through turn 17 they go. The gap between the lead was 1.1 seconds. The gap between the lead is 1.008. Also, Leitner closing on to the back of Holmes, 5th position. I think Leitner is on a lot fresher tyres, as Leitner did pit. He's, I think he's on the softer compound tyre as well. Jonathan Holmes not going to be able to defend from that. He's been closing in at about 3 seconds a lap as Leitner, so Leitner looking in the strongest position to be taking 5. Having a look quickly at Schneider and Tusting. Absolutely nothing going on there. Leitner and Holmes down into the turn 3 braking zone. They will be going in just a mo after they've gone down this heavily long straight. Leitner pulls out on the inside. Is already ahead and under braking. Just has better stopping power because of the fresh rubber. And away he goes in 5th position. The gap between the lead through the first sector, 1.2 seconds. Alvaro Torres showing that he still has an advantage in that first sector no matter what. We're on lap 38 of 42. Not very long to go indeed. And everything at the moment is pointing towards Alvaro Torres taking yet another win this season, as I don't think Schneider and Tusting are going to be able to close that one up, I'm afraid. Kevin Siggy set the fastest lap of the race at 140.110, and he'll be closing up to the back of, well, Guerrero, because where's Campos? Oh no, that's Campos closing up to the back of Guerrero. Campos is also going pretty quickly as well, but Siggy going very quickly. Guerrero, let's have a look what times Guerrero's been doing. Yeah, Guerrero's been doing similar times to Jonathan Holmes in front. And there's not very long left in the race, but maybe Campos can catch Guerrero if he's going at his current pace. I don't think it's actually going to happen because I think there's too much of a gap. Speaking of gaps, the one between Schneider and Tusting is absolutely closing. There's about half a second between the two of them, and about a second between Tusting and Alvaro Torres, so that one's not particularly changing about a bit, especially considering we're in the sector where Alvaro has been absolutely strongest. Through turn 10 they go. That between the lead actually in the first sector. Alvaro Torres lost out a 10th to Ben Tusting, so maybe dropping back just a little bit. Not really too much time to control this race and run the right tyre wear that you want to be, because you've got two very quick people who are also going for the championship sitting just behind you, 2 and 3. Look at Schneider on the back of Ben Tusting. Ben Tusting didn't have a great drive off of turn 15. And Schneider now is going to be right on that rear wing as they head into turn 1. Here we go then, the gap between the two of them as they cross the line, about a tenth of a second. Schneider is pulled out and into the braking zone of turn 1. He stays behind, hopefully to get a better drive, but I don't think he's going to do it. He's going to pull out for turn 3, the better overtaking position, because that means you don't have a huge straight to come under fire. He's pulled out, he's ahead, and into the braking zone of turn 3. He is going to be side by side with Ben Tusting, and has run out wide. Ben Tusting lays down a big thick black bit of rubber, signifying that I'm pushing now, and possibly a bit too much. Ben Tusting has been dropped to P3 as they're still side by side, and they will be through this sector as well, through turn 5, still side by side. Frank Schneider's going to be on the inside for turn 6. Ben Tusting's going to try and get the cutback, but it's not going to work out for him. So these two dossing it out for P2 and P3, as I've said. That's breathing a sigh of release for Alvaro Torres, who gapped a whole second in that sector alone whilst these two were fighting it out. And Ben Tusting not looking in the best of positions through turn 11. Also seen that there's been a couple of position changes. That's exactly why. Siggy and Campos. Siggy's gone past Campos, so Siggy into 8th position. So good drive from him. In the background, Renz Klopp, the man who lost his front wing very early on in the race. However, got it back. And yeah, Torres has indeed got a crazy top speed in comparison to the other two. Schneider and Tusting behind. Schneider showing that he's clearly faster than Tusting. And down the back straight, well, not back straight, it's really the front straight Alvaro Torres goes and down into the braking zone. The top speed of his car. Why not? Let's have a look. 321. That's actually one of the highest that I've seen. I didn't see what Frank Schneider's was. Frank Schneider's 313. So 321 to 313. Wow. Didn't have to do the math, but Alvaro Torres has gone wide at turn 4. And then it's going to be probably a bit disadvantaged actually with Frank Schneider, because it's 1 second between the two of them through the first sector, and considering Frank Schneider strongest in the second and third. We're on lap 41, 2 laps to go. And I don't know if Frank Schneider's going to be able to catch Torres. Remember, this will be Torres' 3rd win of the season. So if he can get this sorted, it's going to be looking good for Alvaro Torres moving his way through the championship. Oh, Frank Schneider getting a little bit out of shape through turn 12. And then into 13. I remember Schneider went out of the race in Italy quite late in it, after being in contention for the lead of the race. I think, anyway. And that's when Daniel Kiss went on to win that race. However, to start the final lap of the race, the gap between the leaders, 0.669 of a second, the one leading, Alvaro Torres. In front of Frank Schneider in the top 10 as it stands on this final lap of the race. Ben Tusting, Daniel Kiss, Norbert Laitner, Jonathan Holmes, Guerrero, Siggy, Campus and Klopp. I'm going to jump back to Torres and Schneider, because I think Schneider may be moving his way up and trying something in the second sector. I've seen this before, last lap of a race that I did my first commentary for, over at a different league. Last lap of the race, 2 leaders dossing it out, turn 10, crashed into each other, person in 3rd went on to win the race. And it can quickly change here in South Korea. Alvaro Torres showing that he's still got a huge advantage in Sector 2. Sector 1 even, good job. And it's 0.7 as they cross the first sector split, so Schneider clearly the faster of the two, but just not close enough. Remember, we are on the last lap of the race, so any die-hard move has got to be done now. I don't think Schneider's going to do it though. Lays down a thick load of rubber out of turn 10. And heading round 11 they go, the double apex left-hander, and then through 12. Gets close to the wall before going into 13. Alvaro Torres, 6/10 the advantage. But I think Schneider's pushing a bit too hard. As round 15 and 16 for the final time. Alvaro Torres, for Biocross Positive Sim Racing, wins in South Korea, his 3rd of the season, and really puts himself up towards the championship contention. Frank Schneider finishes 2nd position. Well deserved, especially considering he had a bit of an iffy moment and then smashes straight into Alvaro Torres. Excellent stuff. Ben Tusting, 3rd position, championship lead, now his. Daniel Kiss puts himself in 4th position, 12.3 seconds off the lead by the end of it, and Norbert Laitner is having a little bit of a lapped car issue in front of him, but it's fine. Norbert Laitner crosses the line in 5th position. Jonathan Holmes not too far behind in 6th. Fernando Guerrero is in the 3rd sector now, heading through 16 and then 17. Gets very close to the wall. And then across the line in 7th position, sister kind of teammate thing, Kevin Siggy in 8th position. And then Alasayo Campus and Renz Klopp. Absolutely neither between the two of those, but if Klopp can have a good drive over 17, I don't think he will. Campus. Oh, it's going to be close though, isn't it? Yep, right, so Campus, 9th position, Renz Klopp, 10th, 1 lap longer, he might have actually had that. Jackson Went, finished in 11th position. Gabriel, from the back of the grid, is coming through the last couple of corners to be our last finisher. And he's going through 17 now, 1 lap down. Gabriel finishes in 12th position, well deserved. James Sadler finished 13th. Rainy Muru finished last of all in 14th position. And then we had, 7 retirements from Giordano Valeriano, Falcon, Alberts, Gallia, Squire, Martin and Bashove. So that is all of the action. of the FSR World Trophy, and congratulations go out to Alvaro Torres winning his 3rd race of the season. And yes, with Norbert Laitner, who crossed the line, nearly got knocked off by James Sadler as they were going up to the line, which isn't good. Jonathan Holmes is there. But yes, we had a nice little duel for the lead, but Alvaro Torres, best of them all, with the car that was designed quite nicely for the 3rd sector. 3rd sector? 1st sector. I know what I meant. However, moving on in the weekend, in a couple of hours' time, actually a bit, it's about 3 hours' time, we'll be having the World Championship, where yes, you'll see Bono, probably taking another win and moving ever closer to winning his 4th championship, which he could possibly do quite soon. Not this weekend though, so you'll have to wait for that one. That will start at 5:15, I believe. Yes, 5:15 British summertime, 4:15 Greenwich Mean Time, and so be looking out for that. However, the next time the World Trophy drivers will be going around the track, obviously, will be a bit later on, and that will be in 2 weeks' time in Singapore. So I hope you enjoyed the race, and I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. If it's me, if it's someone else, that's fine. Maybe it'll be James Tucker, and you can actually hear his voice for once. However, until then, in 2 weeks' time, Ben Tosting is now in the lead of the championship. Alvaro Torres on quite a charge. We'll have to see how this is going to turn out. We've got 4 rounds remaining of the championship. Is it 4? Yeah, probably 3. It's 3 rounds remaining of the championship. I knew I'd figure it out one time. It's 3 rounds left of the championship. 150 points left on the table for whoever wins all of them. And so the championship is absolutely not over. I'd like to thank Jaakko Mikkonen and Sam Jones to help with the broadcast. And obviously, thank you all for tuning in. So until next time in 2 weeks, it's a very warm goodbye.